Okay, so today what we're going to do is focus on using dot plots to organize information and then be able to pull those measures of central tendency and measures of spread and that kind of idea from the dot plots. Okay, so let's take a look at something. First of all, if you just have a bunch of random numbers, just like if you had 15 random numbers, it would be difficult for you to just look at those numbers and describe what's happening, right? But if you organize them in a dot plot or some other kind of plot, but today we're going to focus on dot plots, then what happens is it makes it easier for you to focus in on specifics, right? Like the mean, median, mode, the range for sure, etc. Okay? So let's go to our OneNote and talk about this. So we're in Term 2, Week 5. It's lessons 11 and 12. And you'll notice the first thing, they've put in a bunch of videos. So if you want to watch these videos, you can. But these are the very things we're going to be talking about today. So you don't, the videos are there for you, but you don't have to watch those videos. Okay, guys? So, all right, let's see if I can get this more centered. All right. So here's an example. This was taken from a survey. So they asked a survey of people, asked them how long it took them for them to eat breakfast. And they gave them a list of minutes. The minutes go from 0 all the way to 12. Okay? And just by looking at all of these random numbers, it's difficult to really tell.
Lots of people don't eat breakfast.
Okay? Yeah, it's difficult to really tell any information from it. But by creating a dot plot and then we'll be able to pull the information we need. And again, yeah, they say that. So 6 minutes, 0 minutes to eat breakfast, which probably mean they just didn't eat breakfast. But what about the 2 who answered 1 minute? What'd they have for breakfast? Yeah? Okay.
Probably ate a waffle.
A waffle. Well, that's some quick chewing, even for just something simple like that. So here's the dot plot for it. And remember that when you're building a dot plots are really easy to build when you have your information. So if you have 0, 1, 2, 3, so 6 zeros, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, usually this data isn't so organized, right? They've organized it so that the number of minutes is in order. That's not always the case. What does 2 dots mean? 2 what? That 2 people took 1 minute, right? Okay, so just thinking about ways of reading the graph. All right, now, one of the easiest things to find is simply the range, because you just find the largest number minus the smallest number. And again, unless you listen to your teacher who got it wrong, you're always talking about from the range of items, right? Not how many people or how are the results, but the range of items. So they went from 12 minutes to what?
To 12 minutes.
Well, to 0. To 0 minutes because we always do largest. Yeah, which means we have a range of 12 minutes. And if it gives you units, you need to do units. Okay? And the reason we say the larger one first is because when you're doing the range, you always do the range as the largest minus the smallest. Okay? All right. The mode is the one that occurs most frequently. And again, when you have a dot plot, it's really easy to see the mode because it's simply the tallest stack of dots, right? Okay? As long as they're all the same size. I do want to tell you that you don't have to use dots for a dot plot. You're often going to see dot plots where they use X's. So like here, if we wanted to say 2 1s, that's an X and another X on top of it. So don't be surprised when you see other units other than just dots, and they still call it a dot plot. Many times you'll see little, well, those are little diamond shapes. Well, they would be if anybody normal was drawing them. Okay? So.
Sorry, someone's got their microphone on and it's kind of being quite distracting.
Okay, can everybody just kind of, well, I can do that for you. Well, I don't want to mute everybody because I want you to be able to pop in if you need to. So Just make sure you're muted.
Well, we
okay,
can
guys?
unmute ourselves.
Yeah. Go ahead and mute yourselves, if you will, please.
You can mute your phone and then you have.
And then
So
unmute everybody.
if you can unmute yourself, even if you mute others.
All right. There you go. So, there you go. You're all muted. So, unmute if you have a question, though, because I want you to participate. Yeah? Okay.
Screensaver.
Okay. All right. So remember, the mode is simply the number that occurs most frequently. And again, with a dot plot, it's really easy to find the mode because it's just the tallest stack of dots, right? Be careful. You might need to count them because here, 0 and 10 look pretty much the same. So be careful when you're working with them. Now, they don't do the median on this, which we want to talk about the median a little bit, and they don't do that in this particular question, but we're going to. Remember, for the median, that's the number in the middle, right? Well, if you think about the way a dot plot is organized, these numbers here will always be organized because of the way the dot plot is organized. So they're always going to be in order, right? There were 6 zeros, 2 ones, 3 twos, etc. So the numbers are always going to be in order. So that's good for us for the median because the median is always the number in the middle of an ordered set. So just another reason why using a dot plot to organize the information works really well for what we've been doing. Now remember, to find, and when you're using a dot plot to find the median, there's a little bit of a process. First, you need to count out all the dots. In other words, we need to know how many numbers there are, okay? So if that's that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 38, 39, 40, okay? There are 40 numbers, 40 responses, right? Now, find, divide that by 2. Can anybody tell me why I'm going to divide that by 2 if I'm looking for the median?
Because then it can show you
what is the number in the middle.
There you go. There's the word I was looking for. Yeah, it can show me the number in the middle. So if I take 40 divided by 2, I get what?
20.
20. But remember, if you have an even number of numbers, there's not going to be 1 in the middle. There's going to be how many?
2.
2, exactly. Good job, guys. Excellent. So what we're going to have to do is find the 2 in the middle, okay, and find the average of them, unless they're the same number, right? Which sometimes happens, okay? So all I'm going to do is count until I get to the 20th number, okay? So 1, ink again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's the 20th number, right? And if you look, it doesn't really matter. The 19th, 20th, and 21st numbers are all what number?
5.
5. So the median is 5. So once you divide by 2, simply count that number of dots, and you'll find the median. And again, it doesn't matter which one it is, because even if it was before that or after that or the average of those, it's still going to be 5 in this case, right? Okay, so all you do is just divide by 2 and then count until you get to the right number. It's good? So there, finding the median didn't involve, it was exactly what we did before, but remember before what we would do is we started from the outside because we just had a list of numbers and we didn't really know where it was going to land. Now we know where it's going to land because we know how many numbers. Remember before what we would do is just cross off mark matching pairs. Remember that? When we had actual numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And that method still works, but it takes a little longer. Okay? All right. And finally, last, what we're going to look at is how to find the mean. Does anybody remember what the mean stands for? How did we find the mean?
The mean is the...
Remember, it's the sum or total over how many numbers there are. Right? Well, it turns out that the mean is pretty easy to find when you're working with a dot plot as well, because you have the same numbers over and over. We know there are 40 numbers, right? We already counted them. So we know there's 40, so we already know that we're going to be dividing some number by 40. That's pretty easy. And what happens is, when you have them stacked like this, okay, this means that I have 6 zeros. 6 zeros, do I care? No, because 6 zeros is still 0, isn't it?
No.
So I really don't care.
Yeah.
You can put it in there if you want to. This means I have 2 ones. So 2 ones is 2, right? 3 twos is 3 times 2, which is 6.
6.
So all you see, if you know the number, all you have to do is count the number of dots and multiply it times the number, and that'll give them. So we have, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threes. What's 5 times 3? It's 15, right? There you go. Okay. 2 fours is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fives is 25. You jump to 8s. 2 8s is 16. 3 9s is 27. Somebody's going to better have a calculator, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 10s is 70. 4 11s is 44. And 1 12 is a 12. Then we'll just add all those together and divide that sum by 40. Now they've already done the addition for us, so I'm just going to scroll down and cheat. Right? Do you see they have all those same numbers we did? Okay, yeah. Which gave them 225, which is divided by 40, and which is 5.6 rounded to 1 decimal place. All right, so it's actually pretty easy to find the mean because, for example, you know how many 5s you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just 5 times 5, which is 25. So you can get those sums very quickly, those totals.
So, are we supposed to find the mean, the median, mode from? I'm just confused. We're supposed to find the mean, median, the mode from the graphs in the videos?
No. From it'll be on another page. We'll look at the homework in just a second. No, the videos just talk about how to find them, but we're doing that now. So you can watch the video if you want to, but you don't have to.
Question: are we allowed to use a calculator?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. You've been encouraged. Yeah, you definitely for a calculator on all of these. Now, notice they have this word outliers, and we talked about this. Outliers just means some number that's far away from all the other numbers. I don't want you to worry about outliers right now because outliers really have a very specific formula. They're kind of just asking you to look and see if you see any numbers that look like they're very far away from all the other numbers, which in this case, there definitely aren't any outliers because you have a bunch of zeros and then there's a spread. Now, there's a hole in the middle, but remember, an outlier would be out here. So like if you had the number 20, you went from 12 to 20, that would be an outlier. Now, if it's only 1 or 2 numbers away, like in the video, I disagree with him. He has one in the video. If you watch the video, you don't have to. It went from like 6, 7, 8, and there were a bunch of 8s, but there was only 1 6. And then there were a bunch of numbers beyond that. So he said that 6 was an outlier. It really it's only one, I mean, it's only 2 units away. That's not really an outlier, okay? It is the furthest number away, but that, it doesn't really fit the definition. So what I want you to do is just ignore the part where it asks about an outlier, okay? All right, so you don't have to do the outlier part. You can kind of look at it if you want. You can if you want to, but it's really not gonna, it's really pushing it. Okay, so let's look at the task. It's just task 1 here, the dot plots. So let's look at the task. Create dot plots for these data sets. So they just give you a set of numbers. Now notice the first one, they put them nicely in order, but what about the second one? Nah, they're not in order, right? Okay, so the second one, they're not in order, are they? So let's look at the second one, and we're just going to get you started with it. So first of all, I need a scale on the side. Notice that the graph that I'm given is not very tall, is it? So if I just say that that's 1, that line is 1, that line is 2, that line is 3, that line is 4, that line is 5, okay? It'll still give me enough, because when you're stacking this up, even though the numbers are large, remember that's the scale along the side, and they go in ones, it goes all the way to 20, and so as long as there aren't more than 5 numbers, you can put dots at each line, okay?
Dots.
But I would put since they have the lines, go ahead and use them, and then you can also allows you to do a scale, which is very unusual for a dot plot, okay? All right, so if we have a 4, there's 4, right? So 1, 4, 1, 5.
Will we write on the OneNote?
You can write on the OneNote. Yeah, that'd be good if you did, because it gives all the pieces there for you. But you're going to have additional paper, because this gives you that, but it's not going to give you enough room to do the mean, median, mode, and all that. So either way, or if you have some graph paper of your own, that's fine.
I just type on the side my results. Yeah. I just put I just type the mean, median, and the mode just next to it.
Perfect. As long as I can find it, I'm not worried about it. You guys are pretty organized. So you see as you go, and as you go, just put your dots, and make sure that you mark the numbers off as you go, or else you might repeat something that doesn't get repeated, that shouldn't be repeated. Okay? And you can write the numbers underneath if you want to. So there's another 8, there's another 7, etc. Okay? So now I didn't finish it, but you, of course, are going to finish, and there's a lot of them to do. We'll look at it and see. We might edit a little bit. Okay? So after you put the dots on in for your dot plot, okay, create dot plots for these data sets. Then the next thing...
Someone your microphone on, and it's quite distracting. Can you please turn your microphone off?
Thank you, guys. Yeah. All right. Then after that, it says extension. Do not worry about extension. It is not extension. I expect you to do these, okay? So for the dot plots that you get, I want you to find the range. Again, remember, range is set to the largest minus what?
The biggest.
The smallest.
The largest minus the smallest, right? Good job. The mode, that's just going to be the one that occurs most frequently, right? Yeah, and remember, when you're dealing with range, you're dealing with these numbers on the bottom, right? Mode is the one that occurs most frequently, so just the one that has the highest number of dots. The median, remember we find the median, guys, okay?
It's the middle one.
Okay, the median is the one in the middle, and so all you need to do is divide it by 2 and count, right? Good job. And then finally the mean, which means get a sum or a total and divide by how many numbers there are. And as you can see, there's different numbers of lists.
Mr. Self?
Yes.
I have a bit of a problem.
And that is?
That isn't showing up. It's just a blank piece. It says it can't show the picture.
For this piece in the bottom?
Just give it a minute to load in.
Yeah, it might
what you have to do is you have to go into the content library and go onto the actual page and wait for it to load on the end, and then it should come up in your one.
Okay.
I know, but I did do that, and it's the
Just
picture.
Put a picture of it on the chat.
Okay, Loden, can you tell me, guys, hold on a minute, guys. Loden, which piece is it not loading? Is the whole thing not loading, or just that bottom part where it says range, mode, and median all?
No, just the whole picture.
So you're not getting the graph or anything?
That part.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. You can't see where it says the graph part?
No.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Okay, because you got to have that. All right. So
could you just put like a picture of it in the chat?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Well, I'll put a picture of it in the chat, but you need to find out what's going on. If you can't get it to load, then you need to contact Sarah at IT. You guys, because there's been a lot of OneNote issues. Having OneNote issues, if you haven't contacted IT, then it's not an issue as far as I'm concerned, right, guys? So make sure you contact.
I've contacted IT and it's still not working.
Okay, then make sure you contact IT again. She said do a FaceTime, do a Teams video with her if you need to, but contact her, make an appointment, and talk to her because it's gotta work. And so there's got to be something. She didn't mention what that you hadn't been able to repair it. So check with her again, okay? Just to make sure, because that's Kenzie, right? Yeah, because you've been having some issues. So you're definitely on the list. Kenzie, sorry. Let me find you here. Yep, it's definitely there. So, right? Yeah, Kenzie, because you were working on some, because you have some work that you've already uploaded. Okay.
Yeah,
but you can't see the assignments. Yeah.
And it hadn't been coming up, and me and Sarah have been trying because it's asking for my phone number and everything when it's trying to log me on and stuff, and then it just says that it's wrong, and so it won't let me on.
Okay. Yeah, contact her again and tell her what's happening and request that you make a Teams meeting with her, okay? All right? Because really, it has to work. I mean, we don't really have any much option since we're doing remote learning. Okay? Yeah, your work looks great otherwise. Okay, we'll get you back on. Okay, guys, so I will post that business, and you work dot plots and just do those 3 questions, just those 3 questions. Make sure you stay neat because you're going to have to read that information from the dot plot. So if you don't do it neatly, it's going to be difficult to do. Okay?
Mr. South, the outlier is like the number that's most out of the way, right?
Yeah, but again, you don't have to do the outlier. Yeah. You can do it if you want to, but yeah. All right? Okay.